Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. I am your host, John Drummond, and today we're going to be doing a Tristan Da Silva NBA draft scouting report. We're going to be going over some of his highlights, and we're going to be talking about what I think he can be in the NBA. Now, before we get started, I just want to say that a lot of people who scout players and mock players, do mock drafts, they're about 65% wrong, and which is no problem, because I feel as though if there was somebody who was doing this every single year and always getting them right, there would be no reason to have millions of people scout players all across the world. So that's just a quick, and if you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. I could take criticism. Now, Tristan Da Silva is 6'9", 220 pounds. He plays the small forward position. I think he could play some power forward too with the weight that he is. He's 220 pounds. I think he could come in and play either position depending on what team he could go to. And let's just look at some of his strengths. If we look, he has solid shooting, converting nearly 40% of his catch and shoot threes, coordination as an at rim finisher, proficient in the executing hook shots with either hand, adept at reading the game, accumulating assists and executing various passes, competitive defender with agility to switch on screens and execute timely rotations off the ball, capable of spacing the floor beyond the arc, and a smooth low post game for scoring. Now, when I did look at his highlights a little bit earlier, maybe a few days ago, I was saying the same thing. I mean, I think he has a very versatile game. He's on the older side. I think he may be 22 or 23 years old. I think he has the type of game where he's a veteran player. He's not going to try and do too much on the offense, but he's going to get in where he can fit in, especially if he goes to a team where he may be starting, he may be coming off the bench. But I feel as though there's no chance of him, or not no chance, but there's a very high chance that when he is shooting the basketball, is going to be a smart shot. This is a guy where you can run a pick and pop. This is a guy where he can play off ball. He could be one of those rotational corner three type of players, and he could put the ball on the floor. I mean, he's very polished. He looks like he can put his back to the basket, and he's very lengthy and he's very athletic. Now, his weaknesses are a lack of explosive athleticism, hampers effectiveness as a roller and a lob finisher, limited capacity to drive at the rim with speed, not exceptional in rebounding relative to size, outside shooting consistency remains a work in progress, defensive contributions limited due to lack of athleticism and strength, not considered as an ideal switch defender in the modern NBA. Okay, now that's something, all these things are things that I feel as though can be worked on. I mean, the lack of athleticism, that is something where, okay, we can work with that. There's a lot of players that aren't as athletic in the NBA, but being a bad switch defender, that can be worked on, and his rebounding can definitely be worked on, and his size can be worked on, because he's already 6'9", 220. I think he could put a lot more weight on to the point where he can be an effective rebounder, and then not considered an ideal switch defender in the modern NBA. I think that's something that can be worked on. And Scotto's draft notes, he says he's probably going to be around a late first round range, and NBA scouts told Hoops Hype. He's older, so you kind of know who he is, and he has good size. I understand that. And if we look at the players that are ready to play, I mean, in my opinion, a lot of these teams have their guy. I feel as though the only team that does not have their guy in this draft is the Washington Wizards, at least in the lottery. So when we're looking at a type of player who can come in, who is a ready now, an NBA ready type of player who is very good with his shot diet, he has very high IQ, and he's experienced enough to come in and make an impact on day one, then why don't you draft him? Because we've seen in the past playoffs, Rui Hachimura, Aaron Gordon, PJ Washington, Derek White, TJ McConnell. These are guys who have made differences. If we look at the Boston Celtics, they're up 2-0 in the finals. And it's because of the guys around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Let's look at Al Horford, how he's played extreme defense. Derek White hitting big shot after big shot. Drew Holiday just had 26 last night. Kristaps Porzingis came in and had 18 points in the first half. These are all guys who are not looked at as stars. So if you're going to be drafting, draft somebody that fits in this draft. Don't draft on upside. At least if you don't have a top 3 pick, you draft somebody that fits best with your team, in my opinion. So yeah, we know what he is. But that's not putting away the fact that he can grow from his game. Like, he can end up being a really good defender. I think he has the intangibles to be that type of defender. So we're going to just take a quick look at his highlights, as we can see, he averaged 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, about 50% from the field and 40% from 3 on about 33 minutes a game. So let's just take a quick look. Let me mute this real quick. Okay, let's just gonna look. So this is no ceilings, by the way. We're gonna look at his scoring first. And like I said, this is somebody who can play off ball. He looks like he's a very good shooter off the catch. He can put the ball on the floor. And look, and if you just look, that's good. That's good transition. That's good transition movement. So, in my opinion, I think the way he plays for at least a team, I would like to see maybe the Philadelphia 76ers. He can be that Tobias Harris replacement. You know, with how Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey demand a lot of attention. Tyrese Maxey basically going downhill, Joel Embiid in the center of the floor. I think Tristan Da Silva can be a great corner guy. He could be a great cutter. He could be a great down screen type of player, at least getting a screen from Joel Embiid. I think that's where he can I think that's where he can work through most of his first few years of his rookie contract. If you look at him playing back to basket, very polished footwork. This is an older player, so I feel as though those type of things are what he's really going to have down packed. The pump fake. I really like his game. I really like his game, and I think a lot of teams are going to would love to have Tristan Da Silva, in my opinion. I like him for the Sixers. I also like him for the Portland Trailblazers. You know, if Jeremy Grant wants to end up getting moved, especially with the money you're paying him, his contract is not on time with you guys. So I would like to see him on the Trailblazers. I would also like to see him on the 76ers. Maybe, just maybe. What team was I just thinking of? I would like to see him on Golden State. But Golden State does not have a pick. So, but if we look, I don't really necessarily think that the playmaking is what's going to bring him, or not bring him, but I don't necessarily think the playmaking is what's going to strike an eye or get a lot of attention, because these are good reads. I mean, this isn't something that you would really like be wowed over, but I think just him knowing how to make the right read and him being able to swing the rock is good to be such a young player coming into this league. I don't know how much he's going to have that responsibility his first season, but I think what strikes me the most is the size and the way he could put the ball on the floor and how polished he is on offense. And I think that's what's really going to get him drafted. I don't think the playmaking is it's a nice tool. It's nice. It's something nice to have, the way he makes the extra pass, but I don't necessarily think that's something that we're going to see a lot of in his first few seasons. So we're going to go right to the defense. I want to see what these guys are talking about, not being able to be a switch defender. So I don't know if his side to side is amazing. I think his length on that point guard is what's really saving him. Yeah, I think what's really saving him is his length. It looks like he could be a very good team defender, but one-on-one, you really don't want to see him, like, if he's on your team, you don't want him guarding someone in an island. If you don't want him guarding a Tyrese Maxey in an island, like, his length is really saving him in these possessions. And it's going to be a lot easier because it's going to be a lot harder because guards are getting bigger and bigger by the day. So it's like, if we look, let's go back. So we see him guarding. He gets right easily. He has the lane. And even then, Cody Williams stunts at him, but he has the layup right here. Jalen Brunson is getting to the free throw line off this defense. Tyrese Maxey is blowing right past him. And I know these are some of the best guards in the league, but you have to think about it in an NBA standpoint. I think his length is saving him in a lot of these possessions. If we look here, like I said, I think he could be a very good team defender, but as far as being a one-on-one defender, I don't think that's where his calling card is. But I think in help and in rotation, I think he could be very good. But one-on-one, you don't want Tristan Da Silva to guard another perimeter player out on an island. Like, look, his best highlights to me is in help. Let's look at it. So right here, the defender is leaving the baseline completely wide open. Tristan Da Silva notices that and he recovers and gets the easy block right here. That's very good help defense. That's very good team defense. Even right here, he's in the perfect place at the perfect time. So it's like, yeah, I can see him being a team defender, but an on-ball, one-on-one type of defender, I really don't see that. So anyway, if you guys like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will be getting a lot more scouting reports out very soon, and I'm out. Peace.